Hello everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today. In this video, we are going to be talking about why you should own Bitcoin even if you don't understand it. And if you do understand it, share this video with your parents or your grandparents because they need to be owning Bitcoin as well. All right, before we get into the video, firstly, I want to say congratulations to Mr. Alan Milligan for winning some free Bitcoin from me. All he did to win this Bitcoin was be subscribed to my YouTube channel right here. Click that subscribe button down below. And also, he followed me on Instagram. He did those two things and he was entered to win some free Bitcoin from me. So if you want to win some free Bitcoin from me, do the exact same thing. Subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram. Now with all that, let's dive into the video. So I know what all you guys are saying. You're saying, Griffin, I watched your last video and it was a really good video, by the way, but you taught me in that video that the most important thing was to know what you own and why. And now you're telling me, hey, you should own Bitcoin even if I don't understand it. What the heck's up with that? And to that I say, yes, you should own Bitcoin. You should own Bitcoin. But hey, you did call me out, so let me quickly explain to you what Bitcoin is, and then even if you're still not totally sure or you're still not totally convinced, I will tell you why you should own it regardless. So what is Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin is pretty much the exact opposite of the fiat currencies or dollars you're used to. While dollars have an unlimited supply and are centralized and are controlled by governments or central banks, Bitcoin is a decentralized digital currency with a cap supply of 21 million. And no one can create more Bitcoin. And this protects your purchasing power as it makes everything cheaper and cheaper as the Bitcoin network continues to grow. Fiat currencies are the exact opposite of this, as your purchasing power becomes less and less as more dollars are printed and come into the ecosystem. This printing of dollars incentivizes spending, while Bitcoin's cap supply of 21 million incentivizes saving. That's why you hear some of its top value propositions being digital gold or a global store of value. Okay, so I hope this short explanation helps you better understand Bitcoin's potential role in our global economy. But even if you are still unsure about your feelings of Bitcoin, that's okay. Let me give you some reasons why you should own it regardless. The first reason is that Bitcoin is by and large a non-correlated asset. A non-correlated asset is exactly what it sounds like. It's just simply an asset whose price fluctuation does not follow that of traditional markets. And why is it important to own non-correlated assets? Well, an investor who owns two assets that are weakly correlated, say equities and Bitcoin, well, this investor can rest easier at night knowing that if one of his assets plunges in value, the other might hold its ground. You see, while Bitcoin may be highly volatile, in its short lifespan, it has also seen very, very impressive gains. And importantly, on top of this, it tends to move independently from the market as a whole. And this characteristic makes Bitcoin a great addition for portfolio diversification. Even throughout Bitcoin's 2018-2019 bear market, research has shown that a 1% allocation of Bitcoin has given portfolios a better risk versus reward profile. Key insights like this might help explain why billionaire hedge fund manager Paul Tudor Jones to recently come out and say that he wants to allocate 5% of his total portfolio in Bitcoin. A second huge reason why people own Bitcoin is because it serves as a hedge against inflation. Just yesterday, CPI data came out and was significantly higher than expected. It was at 6.2%. This inflation rate is the highest it's been in the past 30 years. This is the highest it's been ever in my lifetime. That's crazy. This is more or less admission from our government that our currency is being devalued at a historic rate. And yes, there is inflation all around the world, but you can see here the US is getting some of the worst of it. You see, the thing is, when you have undisciplined monetary and fiscal policy and you just keep the money printer on and it keeps going burr, what happens then? Well, it inflates consumer goods. It inflates asset prices. This means, yes, your food is more expensive. Yes, gas is more expensive. Yes, the coffee you buy at Starbucks is more expensive. If you want to buy a new used car, your car breaks down, you're out of luck. Well, you're not out of luck. It's just going to cost you an arm and a leg. Okay? But on top of consumer goods, yes, asset prices are also inflated. The stock market is at an all-time high. Bitcoin price at an all-time high. Real estate prices pretty dang high. And while yes, this second half is good for the wealthy, it's good for the people with a bunch of extra money who have to invest. I mean, the people with investments right now are just clapping for joy. They're like, wow, I've never had this much money in my whole life. Woohoo! They're excited. They're pumped up. The rich don't care about inflation because they have investments. But the thing is, inflation really, really hurts the bottom 50% of Americans. The bottom 50% of Americans do not have any investments. They are living paycheck to paycheck. They have 100% of their net worth in cash. And why is this so awful for them? It's because the money they make is all going to rent. It's all going to food. It's all going to gas. And they have no money left over to invest. The poor are being left behind while the rich get richer. The wealth gap between the top 1% and the bottom half of Americans has never been more vast. It's sad, but we live in a time where you can no longer save your way to financial security. You must learn to invest. You must begin to purchase hard assets. And if you don't believe me that Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation, then explain to me why, as soon as CPI data was released, Bitcoin rocketed up to a new all-time high. And a final great reason to own Bitcoin, even if you still don't quite understand it, is because you are following the big money. In this year alone, there's been so many positives for Bitcoin. Recently this year, a futures ETF was approved by the regulators. El Salvador decided to make Bitcoin legal tender. The city of Miami is giving out Bitcoin to its citizens. The new mayor of New York, Eric Adams, has pledged to take his first 3 paychecks in Bitcoin. There is a ton of institutional money on the sidelines just waiting for regulatory approval so that they can pour money in. I believe that getting into Bitcoin now before all this big institutional money is the best thing to do to set you up for the future. All right, and there you have it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys got some clarity on why you should own Bitcoin. To do a super quick recap, I like owning Bitcoin because it is a non-correlated asset, because I see it as a hedge against inflation, and because I see huge money about to pour into the ecosystem, and I want to be there to benefit from that. So again, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. Again, as a friendly reminder, if you would like to win some free Bitcoin from me, all you have to do is subscribe to this channel and to follow me on Instagram, link down below in the description. If you do those 2 things, you will be automatically entered to win some free Bitcoin from me. So good luck to you all, and until next time, peace and love.